Louise from Lark Tweed Creative, and today I'm going to show you how to duplicate, hide, and move sections within Kajabi. And this is not just for websites, this applies to websites, landing pages, emails, even your course theme or membership theme. All of these, um, all of these products within Kajabi will use the same type of function when it comes to moving and adjusting different sections. So one thing I do want to point out before we get started here is if you like a section that you have on, let's say, the home page of your website, and you would like to duplicate it into a different page, whether that's a landing page, from a landing page to a landing page, or a website page to a landing page, there is no function to do that. You can duplicate within a page, but not from one page to another. So that's important to note. So what I usually do if I need to do that, because it does happen, like most of my sites will have a blog section. There's a lot of sections that repeat on my pages, and there's a purpose for that. You know, and you've got your freebie, you've got your social media area or YouTube area, whatever you want to use this for, and then you have your blog area. These are sections that, and the testimonials, these are sections you might want to repeat from page to page, just because it is something that people might look for, and they might end up scrolling to the bottom of one page and not another. And if they get to the bottom of one and they see, oh, these testimonials are really helpful, you know, this might help a transaction. Anyways, so if you wanted to duplicate certain sections from page to page, the way that I do it is I use Chrome as my browser. So I'll duplicate my Kajabi tab as I have my website open. So let's say we just do that right now. So I duplicate the tab, and then let's say I have one tab that's open on the home page, and I want the other tab to be open to services. So if I want a certain section that I have on the home page, but I don't have it on the services, I will go to that section. So let's say it's a testimonial. So I'll click on that section, and then I've got all the elements here. And let's say I want to lay it out exactly the same. I'll just go back and forth between the two tabs until I have it laid out exactly the same, because you'll want it to be identical in most cases. So that's just a quick tip on what I do. If you have a better solution, I'm obviously open to ideas, and you can definitely leave it in the comments below. But I wanted to share that in case you weren't sure how to go about it if you needed to do something like that. So let's go back to the homepage website. And like I said, the section duplication and moving, that applies to every product in Kajabi, but I'm going to show you within a website. So the first thing to note is there is a hierarchy of sections within Kajabi, meaning you've got your high-level sections here. This is your home page. If you need to go to a different page, this is where you click. But on the home page, these are all of the different sections that are being used. And I do apologize if I see the word section a lot in this video. It's definitely going to happen. But I will try to not say it too much. But if you look here, so you have all of these sections. And so that's hierarchy number one. And then hierarchy number two is once you click, let's say we choose this one here. Once you click on a section, it brings you to all of the pieces that make up that section. So you've got the text here, you've got an image, and you've got another image, and then you've got your background. So that's what makes up a section. So that's hierarchy number two. And then when you click on one of these, so we'll click on the text, then you're within that piece. So it's important to understand that so you don't get confused, because once you start clicking on things, it might get a little bit confusing as to like how deep you are within a section. So you can only go 3 deep. Okay, and to get out of that is this little back button. If you click here, you're going to click outside your website. So you don't want to do that until you're done and everything is saved. So make sure you don't click on that. You want to click on this to get to the top hierarchy. But there's different ways to get into a section. You can just click on this, and then you'll be literally within the deepest part of that section because you've clicked on the piece itself. So you'd go back and you'd be at level 2. And again, this is level 1. So I hope this all makes sense. But you can duplicate things both in level 1 and level 2. So let's start. So when you've purchased a template, I think as a template creator, and I don't want to speak for other creators, but I do think it's kind of the norm that we try to create as many section options for you as possible. So, but still having a beautiful flow and that everything kind of works together and has the same kind of style. But the idea is that you go into this website and you can use the layout as is. The layout has been thought out, and I can really only speak to my templates for this for sure, but this layout has been completely thought out. So if you can use the layout as is, that's perfect. But if there is a section that you feel you really need because there's a piece that you need to explain on the homepage and it's not there, then your best bet would be to go through that homepage or whatever page this would apply to and look at the different sections, how they're laid out, and think of the piece that you want to add and choose the section that you feel best fits for what you are wanting to explain and that won't disrupt the flow of the page because you want to keep it flowing. It's really good for the user that each section kind of creates, like, it tells a story or it creates a mood. So those are important things to think about. But you're going to want to duplicate the section that you feel best fits for what you want to explain. Maybe you have more testimonials, so you could duplicate elements within this section, or you could straight up duplicate that section and have more testimonials later on. It's not necessarily something I would recommend, but you have that freedom. You can do whatever you want. Like this section here is for a video, so if you have a video testimonial, but you can also use it for something else. So if you wanted a video that explains your program and you want to have it higher at the top of the page, you can totally duplicate that and move it up. So I'm going to show you how you can do that. And again, we're going to focus on this section here because I think this is typically probably could be the most likely section you would want to duplicate just because it just talks, it's content, right? So it just talks about the story a little bit more. So it might be a piece of content that you need to add to this and there's no place for it. So you could duplicate this. So let's go to it. It's called Introduction. And you're going to click on those three dots. And now you have 4 options. You can rename, which you're going to want to after you duplicate it so that it's easier to find. And there's duplicate, and then there's hide, and there's delete. I rarely will delete anything, and I would suggest you do the same. If there's a section on this page that you feel I will absolutely never use that, even then I would say, well, don't delete it, hide it, because that section, like let's say for example, it's a course, and you don't have a course, or you're not going to want to present your course on the homepage ever. Let's say that's the reason. That's totally fine. You could totally hide it. But know that that section, it could transform into something else. And then once you delete it, it's gone forever unless you bring back the original design. And then, you got to start from scratch. So I don't think that's the best way to go. So I would just suggest you hide it. No one can see it. You know it exists, but no one else does. So, and if you ever need to use it, it's still there for your use. So that's just my opinion. I feel like knowing that has helped me so much in my journey. So I definitely wanted to share that. But let's go back to duplicating a section. So I'm going to duplicate this. And so right away, when you duplicate a section in Kajabi, it'll bring you at level 2 hierarchy within that section. And it will also place it at the very bottom of the page before the footer navigation. So we're gonna go back one, and we're going to move it up to where we want to place it. And so the way that you do that, it's these little bars here. You're going to click on it and you're going to move it up. And I think I want to put it right below the other introduction. And I'm going to change this to about me. Let's just say it's an about me section. And now you might want to flip this so that it has more of a sequence to it. So the way that you would do that, let's jump to the second hierarchy. And so if we're in the second hierarchy, now we got to figure out, okay, which one is this image? Which one is this? So great way to do that is you hide it. Okay, it looks like this image is still here, but that one's gone. So I'm going to go back here and then I'm going to show it again. And I'm going to move it up so that it's on the other side of the image. And now you're going to want to, this is really close to how you would want it, but the text aligned this way might look a little odd. So I would click on the text, I would go down to desktop layout, and I would left align the text. And the other thing you might want to do, see how there's space to the left now? Well, since you reverse the text, you're going to want to reverse the space. So I'm going to remove it from here and add it to this side. And I have a video on spacing that will help you understand what is the difference between this and how to use it. So stay tuned for that. And then you might want to look at your image to see, is there any reverse spacing there? There isn't, but it is aligned to the left, so maybe we align it to the right. So, and there you go. Now you have the second section. You're ready to add a new image to it, update the copy. Maybe you want to update this image to something different so it's not repeating on every section. And you might want to reduce some of the spacing here. But, you know, like you have that new section, it flows with your website, and now you can add more content. So that's how you would go about that. Now, the other thing is you can duplicate. So we talked about the hierarchy, like this would be level 1, and then once you go in, this would be level 2. Now, in level 2, duplicating can be so helpful because, now let's go down to a section like this. Now there's 2 ways you can create this section, and I want to show you a way that you can save a lot of time. If you were to create this section from scratch, let's go into this section here. It's called the offerings and services. So there's 3 cards here. So if I did card 1, put in the image, styled it exactly like I wanted, and then add another card, style it exactly like I wanted, that will take forever. I suggest create the card, the first one, and so you're going to put it, let's say you have 3 cards, you're going to want 4 columns. If you have 4 cards, you're going to want 3 columns. So you want to make sure that it fits within the 12 so that they don't start to stack. You're going to add your image, you're going to set up your text, you're going to stylize everything exactly how you want it, and then you're going to go back to hierarchy 2, and you're just going to click on duplicate. And then, ta-da, you have everything set up. All you have to do is change out the copy, make sure it's linking to the correct place, and change out the image. And there you have it. That's how you would go about using the duplicate feature for a section like this. Can be so life-changing and save you so much time. So that is how I duplicate, hide, and move sections. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. I'm more than happy to help.